you've picked up 5 books this summer and have DNF'd them all, this video is for you. So I am in the biggest book slump I have ever been in, and I thought I would help somebody else out there by going over the books that hooked me from the beginning, kept me wanting to read, and helped kill slumps in the past, but summer edition. So they will all be summer themed fun books because it is hot. I think part of the slump is getting into the atmospheric mood. So let's get into the best books to get you reading again this summer. The first book is Funny Story by Emily Henry. I would say Emily Henry, if you're looking for a good summer romance, Emily Henry is an amazing place to start. This book follows Daphne, who is just recently been dumped by her fiance Peter after he confesses that he is in love with his longtime childhood best friend Petra. So with nowhere to go, she decides to room with Miles, who happens to be Petra's ex that she leaves for Peter. It's a mess. Yes, it's a mess. They're completely opposite. Miles is kind of more laid back, easygoing, more go with the flow kind of a guy. And Daphne is definitely more type A, structured. Everything has to be in order. So they decide to try and get out of their blues of losing their relationship. They're going to kind of go on these summer adventures together and take kind of more misleading photos together to make their past significant others jealous. And as they go through this kind of journey, they fall in love. Aww. Or do they? I don't know. You have to read it. I think this is a really good book. The summer aspect of it isn't as strong as other books that I'll mention, but it's there. I think this is good for anyone who just wants something that's a little more romance-based but has a sprinkle of summer. Next, also by Emily Henry, and also my favorite book by her of all time, is Book Lovers. This book follows Nora and Charlie. And Nora's sister kind of one day is like, this summer I'm going to North Carolina. I want you to come with me. And Nora, kind of looking for a fresh start, goes with her. And while she's there, she bumps into Charlie, who also is a resident there. And they're kind of rivals, kind of frenemies, not really rivals. And as they keep bumping into each other throughout the trip, they realize that they get along a lot more. So then they start kind of doing more things together and building a connection from there. And I love this book. If you didn't know, when I said it was my favorite Emily Henry book, I think this book will get you right out of your slump. I love when books take the time to make the two people connect instead of rushing it and like making it insta-lusty. And this did a really good job of having the two characters slowly merge together. This book is funny. The North Carolina aspects, you get the beaches, but you also get like a little bit of the wilderness. And it is just a really good book if you're looking for something with good romance. This does have spice in it. Don't remember if Funny Story had much spice, but this one does have a bit of spice. There are more spice scenes, so if that's not your thing, I do have options coming that don't have much spice. But yes, this book was such a good read, and if you are just looking for a true kind of frenemies to lovers, kind of coastal romance, this is like the book for you. Next is Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop. Yes! In one take, bitch. This book follows Rome and Janelle. Janelle's sister is getting married to her ex, and the wedding is going to be in Tulum, and the wedding party is there a week early to kind of enjoy festivities and relax before all of the wedding planning starts. And there is a little bit of animosity with the whole situation, but more on the sister side, not Janelle's. Rome is one of the groom's best friends. He and Janelle kind of have this instant chemistry, and he and Janelle strike up a deal that they will let whatever happens happen for a week, and then when the wedding is over, they will go back to their separate lives. This book is so good. This is a book that I don't think you will put down once you pick it up. I had such a good time. The setting of Tulum is just perfect for the summer. The banter of the friend group, the banter of all the things. There's a little bit of serious topics mixed in, but it's done in a way where it doesn't overshadow anything, but it's still done well where it doesn't feel neglected either. I loved the characters. I loved the relationship they built. it's really awesome to kind of watch Janelle find herself through this book and have someone back her up for once. Once you read the book, you kind of get more of what I mean by that, and I just loved it. This book also has quite a bit of spice. This might be the spiciest book that I talk about today, so if you aren't a big fan of spice, I would take that with a grain of salt, okay? Don't pick this one up for you. It's not for you. It's not for you. But if you don't mind a little steam, this was probably my favorite summer read that I've read in a very long time. Next up is The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. This book follows Anna and Liam. Anna and Liam get married so that they could have access to the family subsidized housing that was on their campus because they both were kind of out on their luck for a place to stay. They were supposed to get divorced, sign papers, and go on their way. It turns out Liam did not do that because in order for Liam to cash in on his inheritance, he has to be married for a certain amount of years. So Anna finds this out, and Liam promises to give her a big payday if he comes on a family vacation to his sister's wedding and pretends to be his wife just until they get back, and then they can get divorced. I ate this up. Christina and Lauren, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I'm gonna keep reading it. I'm gonna keep loving it. I loved this. Again, summer, the summer vibes are there. They're staying in these like tiki hut things or whatever on the water, and it's close proximity. One of my favorite tropes is when they're forced to be in the same space. So they have to obviously share the same room, share the same everything, and then also be lovey-dovey and fake in front of the family as well. And I just loved the story so much. I loved the multitude of layers that each character had. I loved they were so opposite but so similar at the same time. And I actually did not mind the third act kind of conflict, if you can call it that happened in this book. It was made sense for the type of book this was and kind of the plot once you kind of get going. But I think that it was so well done and the atmosphere was captured so well. And all the characters, honestly, were hilarious and just over the top, which made you want to keep finding out what happened more. Because there's nothing like other people's drama to keep you wanting to read. And that was what this was. This was like a big drama fest, but it was like a fun one that was addicting. The queen herself of summer romance, Carly Fortune. And I've read them all. I have not given any of her books lower than 4 stars. She just writes the perfect summer romances. Like, you feel like you're right there with the characters and just in the moment. I'm just going to talk about my favorite one she's ever written, and that is One Golden Summer. This is the second in a series, but you don't necessarily have to read the first one to read this one. This follows Alice. Her grandmother recently passed, so in order to feel closer to her, she returns to the cottage that they rented together one summer. While she was at that cottage, she took this picture of these kids on the lake boating, and one of the people in the picture she bumps into, and it's Charlie. And Charlie and her kind of start this friendship of sorts where he shows her around different parts of the town and what to enjoy and help her kind of get through her grieving process and help her kind of live in the present and not kind of dwell on the past. And at the same time, Alice is trying to help Charlie do the same in a sense. And they strike up a romance throughout all of this. And I love this book. I don't know what it is about men named Charlie, but Charlie. He was so sweet and so broken. And it was okay because we put them back together. But I think this is such a good book. If you're looking for more of an emotional read, this one will definitely pull out your heartstrings the most out of any that I'll mention here. I think this book is for anybody. It has a bit of spice in it. It does have some spice. But if that doesn't bother you, I would really highly recommend this book and bring tissues because you're going to need them. Next is The Devil in the Deep Blue Sea by Elizabeth O'Rourke. And this book follows Drew, and she is dating a famous rock star, and they have a pretty big tumultuous breakup, but they still kind of want to try to work things out. So her boyfriend says, hey, me and my family are going on this vacation. You should come and we can work things out there. We'll be away from the limelight. We'll be kind of secluded on private beaches and we can work on a relationship. Drew gets there. He's not there. He claims something came up and he'll be there a couple days later, whatever. And so she's kind of stuck on this island with Josh, his brother. and they are right off the bat do not get along. Just not a great relationship. And Drew makes a promise to herself that she is going to win him over. She's like, if I'm going to be with Six is the name of her ex-boyfriend. If I'm going to be with him, I need to get along with Six's brother. So she keeps kind of putting herself in these situations with him where they can kind of bond and get along. And obviously they clash, but then after so much time, they start to kind of form a romantic bond. This book was really good. It was very addicting. That was the one thing that I will say about it was I did not want to put it down. I just kept wanting to see what other shenanigans they would get into and what other kind of mishaps would happen when they would get into it. This one is on the steamier side. I will say that. The atmosphere was perfect. Just the characters. I think the characters could have been a little better. But I think for something addicting and quick and you just kind of like you want to know what the heck they're going to do next to get into any more trouble, this is probably like a really good book to kind of edge your slump out of the way. I do not like that. What? Next is You with the View by Jessica Joyce. This follows Noelle. So Noelle has just recently lost her grandmother and has recently came across a bucket list that her grandmother had and a bunch of letters and things that showed that she had loved someone else at a time and that they were supposed to be soulmates. And Noelle posts to TikTok kind of saying, hey, does anyone know who this man is in this picture? My grandmother had a crazy love story with him and I would like to get to know him and meet him. The TikTok blows up and it turns out that the grandson of the guy is her high school rival Theo. And Noelle really wants to go on this road trip and finish their bucket list and do all these things. So Theo agrees to tag along with her. So as they're going through these bucket list items that their grandparents were supposed to do together, you guessed it, they start catching feelings. And this book was so cute. It was beautiful to watch her emotional healing through this trip and learning about her grandmother and all these questions she had because she thought her grandmother only loved her granddad and just now she's learning about this other life and it just her kind of coming to terms with how people can be so multifaceted. And Theo also was just the perfect grump, was just very supportive but also still a grump. If you like a good kind of like a road trip, more summer romance, where this one had summer activities but it wasn't a lot of beach and waves and things like that, it was more road trip and them going to do different activities but it was still during the summer, this book will be perfect for you. It's also forced proximity, grumpy sunshine, like those vibes, which a lot of these books are for the most part. Another thing I will say, slow burn. Okay, it takes a bit to get there, which makes it even better when it does. There is spice, but it's well done spice, but it is spice. So if you're looking for more of kind of road trip vibes or more forced proximity besides just being stuck in a room or whatever it may be, then this will probably be the book for you. Now we're going to get into the books that are not spicy or closed door, I should say. So the first one is Summer Romance by Anna Monaghan. This follows Allie Morris, and she is recently divorced, kind of trying to find herself and just kind of keep her head above water. Her dog happens to come upon a man, and he pees on that man, and from there, the two of them kind of strike up a friendship, and slowly but surely, she lets her guards down and lets him into her life, and they strike up a romance, and it was so sweet. And I am a big fan of, and I loved everything about it. I loved watching her find herself again. It felt real. It felt like you were really reading about someone that you would meet in real life. She just felt honest, and it was beautiful. It wasn't the perfect thing, like where everything just happens perfectly in your life. You really kind of got that nitty gritty, like all the thoughts in her head about why she was the way she was and why she wasn't accepting of letting people in, and how he really worked to help her get there. And it's also during the summer, so they're doing all these summer dates and activities and everything like that. So if you don't mind single mom romances and you don't want spice, I think this is the perfect book for you. It was so beautifully written, and it is a bit emotional because you do get quite attached to the character. The last series is a YA series, and you've probably seen it everywhere, and you probably heard it, and you might have already read it. but I had to put it in here because these books actually helped me last summer when I was struggling for my life to get out of a slump. And it is the Summer That I Turned Pretty series by Jenny Han. And these are so good. There's also an Amazon show for these books as well. I've only seen the first season, and I am okay with just seeing the first season. These are literally summer books. Like, if out of all of these are the most summer books. This follows Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah. Jeremiah and Conrad are brothers, and Belly is their best friend pretty much, and their moms are best friends. So every summer they go to the beach house of Conrad and Jeremiah, and they spend the entire summer there just getting into all kind of shenanigans and everything else. And romance does happen in these books, and it's a little messy. There's a little bit of drama. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's plenty of drama in these books, but it's so... the summer mood that you get is just so well done that it almost doesn't matter. It's still summery, and like the love stories, they're so young, and you can kind of, when you read them, you get that nostalgia feeling of when you were a kid and you were on the beach and you were running around, and things don't get too crazy until about like halfway through the second and the end of the third, but the first one is just peak summer vibes. If you are looking for something YA and a little more tame and also just peak summer feels, these books are for you. They read fast, the chapters are short, and I think you will have such a good time reading these if you are looking for something like that. Those were all my summer book recs for getting out of a slump. I hope you have not read one of these, and one of these will help you get out of the slump that you're currently in. And if you have any book recs for me to get out of the slump that I'm in, it does not have to be summer related. Please leave them down below. I am struggling, okay? I am struggling. I'm usually about 4 or 5 books deep by now in the month, and I have read 2, and I don't think I've rated any one of them more than a 3 stars. Please help you, girl. Make sure you like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.